From Normal Community High School, Clutch Sports Media is once again live for a Big 12 boys basketball quarterfinal matchup between the Champaign Central Maroons and the 5th-seeded Manual Rams. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us for our second game of a triple header on ClutchSportsIL.com. John, whenever you look at the March Madness bracket and you see a 5-4 matchup, those single seed difference matchups, they're always fun, and here in the Big 12 high school tournament, I don't think this game's going to be any exception, the 4th-seeded Maroons and 5th-seeded Rams.
Oh, and like you said, Larry, the 4 and 5, there's really no clear-cut favorite. It's a one seed difference, and the last time that Champaign Central and Manual squared off, Central had the upper hand with the 57-55 win. It came down to a last shot from Manual. I don't expect it to be any different tonight. I think it's going to be a close game.
Anytime you see postseason basketball, you never know what to expect. And in case you didn't join us for the first game of our triple header, PND fell to Champaign Centennial. Boy, was that quite the game from start to finish. And Centennial really kind of shell-shocked the Irish. They did a nice job battling through that zone defense and the whole 9 yards. So the moral of the story is you never know what to expect in March. So we expect a close game, but you never know what could happen.
Yeah, you don't. And as far as us and the viewers at home, hopefully we see another close, exciting game. And going back to that first game, Centennial looked like they're primed and ready to really make a deep run in this conference tournament. If you're Notre Dame, it's a tough way to end the season, but a great season for Notre Dame at that. And then going to this game, we've seen Manual a handful of times. We know what they like to do, push the ball in transition. And it's going to be big, too, for both teams. Haven't seen a lot of Central, but limiting those turnovers. This is not a team that you want to turn it over to with Central, and nor does Manual.
Let's get you the starting lineups first for the Manual Rams being introduced right now. It'll be number 3, Jaron Traps, 5'11" sophomore who has hit a lot of clutch shots. Number 11, Amarion Bird, the only senior who gets a lot of playing time for these Rams. Number 15, Justin Page, the star sophomore guard. Number 24, Cameron Causey, as well as number 32, Tristan White gets the starting nod over Idias Robertson, who we'll see off the bench. As for the Maroons, it'll be number 12, Judd Wagner, number 23, Nate Allen, number 24, Isaiah Roosevelt, number 25, Diego Sanchez, and number 30, Henry Hammelberg. And we are underway from the West Gym at Normal Community High School. Possession goes to Central first, and the fadeaway jumper is off the mark by Diego Sanchez. And here come the Rams. It's Causey lobbing behind him to Traps. Justin Page thought about the 3. Nice find inside to White. Little too strong on the layup. Here's Bird.
And early on, Manual likes to push that tempo.
Traps 3 can't fall, but another opportunity for the Rams in white. They like to shoot the 3, John, but they can also pound the ball inside, so it really just depends on what type of look they got.
Certainly can. Cameron Causey and Marion Bird, you'll see those guys inside tonight, as well as Tristan White. And a lot of guys that come off the bench for Manual. A lot of depth on this Ram squad.
Page couldn't knock down the 3. What a save by Bird, and what a finish by Tristan White to get the scoring started.
A young Rams team at that. A lot of talent that's going to be even big for Coach Willie Coleman going into next season. I think this is a good stepping stone for them to see how far they can make a push. I'm sure Champaign Central under Coach Finke wants to do the same.
Justin Page looking for an option. Causey reversed into the corner. Tristan White has all 5 points for the Rams.
Good start there for the junior.
And Johnny, talk about the young talent for Manual. It's the opposite for Central. They've got a number of sophomores and juniors on the roster, but their starting 5 is all seniors. So an experienced team is tough to beat come March. Long ball from Sanchez off the heel.
Yeah, and Jeff Finke said before the game they like to obviously play that starting 5, but then there's only a couple other guys that they go to. So it's really that 8 is their core. And then you look at Manual, a lot of depth on that team. They're a young team too, and guys like Devontae Burse and Gerald Traps and Justin Page. So a lot of talent on this Ram squad.
Maroons go inside. Hamelberg was looking for space. Instead, he turns it over. So the Rams with an opportunity to stretch out their game-opening run even further. Thanks for joining us tonight on ClutchSportsIL.com. Big 12 boys basketball tournament triple header. Tristan White inside, fights through the double team, somehow got the shot up. Now Idias Robertson hauls in the board. Bird on the drive, rhythm three for Page, nearly wedgied. Another offensive rebound. And a turnover on Manuel. And this will be our mask timeout, perhaps a little early at the 5.5-minute mark of this first quarter. So we want to take this time to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UfteringNissan.net today. And by Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. UfteringWeston.com today. And last but not least, also brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. Jaguar Land Rover Peoria.com. And there you see the final score of that Champaign Centennial Peoria Notre Dame matchup. Really a shocker as the Chargers pull off the 54-46 final score. Right now we've got Manual Champaign Central, and to cap it off it'll be Urbana versus Normal Community. That's coming up at 8 p.m.
And Larry, going up back to that, what we thought was a mask time, I believe it was a stoppage in play for a second, going to the benches as Tristan White was being attended to at the trainer. Looked like he got a little bit of an elbow to the nose, a little bit of a nosebleed there. Hope to have him back in as he's producing very well for the Rams early on.
He's got all 5 points for the Rams, so we'll keep an eye on that. And the long ball is down by Nate Allen. First 3 points come from beyond the arc for the Maroons. Causey surveys inside, back to Traps. They're playing catch now. Now it's Page. Page is very versatile for a sophomore, can play the 1, but we see him in the 2 spot, and that's where he is now. Robertson, spin cycle, blocked, and the Maroons recover it.
I think Champaign Centennial, or I should say Central, wants to try to control those rebounds. They had 5 offensive rebounds for Manual on that ensuing possession.
Nate Allen, the drive and score, and so all 5 points for both sides have been scored by one player, Tristan White for Manual, and Nate Allen for the Maroons. Lob down low, Robertson kicks out of the double team. You hear the bench energy for Champaign Central. Page weaves his way in and out of traffic. Bird takes the 3.
Gotta love it, Larry. Early on, a lot of noise from your players on the bench, and definitely got that postseason atmosphere vibe.
It really does. A lot of energy in this gym, kind of compared to what we saw last game in the first quarter. Saw a lot of energy in the second half, don't get me wrong, but not exactly in the first. Bird, jump pass. Now Traps slows it down. Usually you see Manual like to push it in transition, but they've settled into the half-court set on most possessions here early on. Justin Page. Traps back to Page. The deep 3 halfway down. Robertson blocked. Sanchez was there.
Central did a good job there of swarming him. At least Robertson definitely can disrupt you in the post.
Allen tried to get it to go inside. could not do so, but it will stay on this end. Justin Page goes to the bench. Devontae Burst checks in, and Traps checks out. And a substitution for Champaign Central, Devon Prude. Drive by Roosevelt, and he's fouled.
Back and forth game to start, Larry, and I think both teams are hungry, want to come out with the win tonight. You can see that intensity on both sides, a lot of physicality.
Roosevelt scans the floor and finds his classmate Sanchez. Now it's Judd Wagner. Good shooting ability, nice find down low. And a nice two by Isaiah Roosevelt. Excuse me, that's Prude for two. Bird tried to penetrate. Now goes inside, back out. Robertson, look at this ball movement by Manuel. And it doesn't result in points. Roosevelt dribbles with his head up, finds the open Sanchez, and he got it.
Good start here for Champaign Central Maroons. Working that ball around. He's seen some long threes so far. Working that ball inside and really trying to disrupt Manuel on offense. After a hot start for Manuel, we've seen set in their defense and feel comfortable.
Burst too strong from deep. One trend early on, John, has been a lot of offensive rebounds for Manuel. They haven't necessarily capitalized on them, though.
Yeah, haven't translated into points, and I think that's credit to Central's defense. Anytime they get those rebounds down low, Central doing a good job of swarming them and clogging that lane. A lot of energy from that opposing bench, though, for the Maroons, and I think the players are feeding off that on the court.
I would agree, John, and the interesting thing to me is every time we've seen Manuel play, there are a lot of teams that play with a lot of emotion, and some teams just play better that way. Mm-hmm. Manuel, I would say, doesn't play with a ton of emotion. They're very even-keeled, and I think that pays off in the late-game situations. They've had two buzzer-beating wins. They fell short, ironically, against this Central squad on a last-second shot. Mm-hmm. But other than that, you see the energy for Central. Manuel's not buying in. They're not being aggravated. They're not, necessarily being agitated.
I think through the years too, a lot of that's been instilled in the program. As they've been through a lot of adversity in games. We've been in close games, in tight-fought games, and Manuel's just kind of fed off that, and they've lived in these moments already this season. I don't think anything really surprises them.
Another team that would have played in a sectional championship last year. Tristan White tickles the twine. He's got 8 points for the Rams, and you notice that number on the scoreboard matches White's total. 2 threes to his name. Drive and kick goes to Sanchez. He pops and connects from the paint.
Yeah, and with Tristan White earning that starting spot, I don't believe we saw him in the starting lineup in the other games we did, so clearly he wants to keep that spot for this postseason run, and he's showing it tonight.
Cameron Causey, the mid-range, too strong. Strong board by Dwayne Hubbard. Judd Wagner draws the block. He knocked down 2 Rams, as it looked like Burse as well as White went flying. And the foul's going to be on White. Judd Wagner, first free throw is short. John, in talking with Jeff Finke before the game, head coach for Champaign Central, he said the biggest key with Manuel is keeping the pace down, slowing the pace down. They've succeeded with that.
Yeah, they have, and I think that's where you want to catch Manuel. You don't want him to run the floor and get in transition. That's where Manuel plays its best, but we've seen Manual this year, teams slow him down a little bit, and he still can play through that.
Nice no-look pass. Robertson, another try. He's fouled.
Nidius Robertson doing a really good job inside tonight. He's going to have to pick up that workload if they're going to put pressure on Marion Bird and Cameron Causey, who usually are inside. He's getting those offensive rebounds.
Big fella knocks down the first. Robertson, the 6'6" junior. Really a big piece of this Manual squad in back-to-back seasons now. Played a big part of the regional championship team last season that started the season hot, kind of had a lull in the middle, but got hot at the end of the season. So we'll see if Manual can stay hot at the end of the season this year.
And this is, we touched on this in the first game of the day with Centennial and Notre Dame, but this is all you're going to get for a postseason, so you kind of got to treat it as a HSA regional or sectional.
Hubbard, second chance three, almost banks it in. Third chance results in a foul. And Devon Prude will go to the line. That one almost went on the third bounce, but Prude 0 for 1, gets another chance here. His second one is down. He's got 3 points, and Manual runs out of time, and the buzzer sounds on the first quarter of action. It's the Maroons 13 and the Rams 9.
That's a good start for the Champaign Central Maroons. Talked with Jeff Fink. He said, we got a rebound. They didn't necessarily win the rebounding battle, but they made up for it with their scoring and defense.
They did, and John, we talked about those offensive rebounds for Manual, and they weren't really able to capitalize on them. We'll get to more of that in a minute, and for now we take this break to remind you that tonight's coverage is brought to you by Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UftringNissan.net today. And by Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. Visit UfteringWeston.com today. And last but not least, also brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. Jaguar or LandRoverPeoria.com. Back to the action now as Manual opens up the second quarter with the basketball.
See how Manual can come out in the second quarter. It's been a back-and-forth game, but Central's got the upper hand right now.
In case you're just joining us, Tristan White with all but 1 point for the Rams, including 2 threes. And there he is again. That time he's off. Traps couldn't quite get the offensive board back. Deshaun Butler jets ahead. He had 15 points off the bench against Manual in these two teams' first meeting, and he couldn't pick up 2 there. Justin Page on the other end banks it home. Here comes the Rams full court press, I think you were going to say, John.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Manual putting that pressure on. Doesn't phase Central. Oh.
Well, it almost didn't phase them. They broke it with success. Page again. The mid-range is pure. John, when we've seen Justin Page this year, he takes a lot of those shots and he doesn't miss a lot of them.
He doesn't, and going out off of that as well, he doesn't commit a whole lot of turnovers. Very smart with the ball, makes good passes. It's a young player to watch. It's going to be big for the Rams upcoming seasons. Roosevelt
can't knock down the tray. so much value to a point guard like that, John, who's young, but also very composed and under control. But there, he turns it over. The broadcaster jinx in play, perhaps.
I've done that quite a few times this year.
3 from the corner, too strong from Judd Wagner. We'll see if Page can redeem himself.
Tristan White, you can see, got that nose stuffed there after taking a shot.
John, I don't know if you watched the Missouri Valley Conference Championship game featuring Loyola and Drake as the pass is picked off by Wagner to the left block, high off the glass and in. Almost finishing through contact, and Wagner is on the board with his first 2 points. But Drake's Tremel Murphy got elbowed in the face and had a nosebleed, and the game was stopped for, I want to say, 2 or 3 minutes consecutively, just trying to stop the nosebleed in the final 2 minutes of gameplay.
Oh, wow.
Really in a crucial point. White's 3 is off. Luckily, not the same situation for Tristan White here. How about Butler? He slows it down. We have another 3 from the corner, and that one's down for Henry Hammelberg.
And when we talked with Jeff Fink, he said that Hammelberg's going to be a player to watch, and he's showing that right now.
And a timeout taken by Willie Coleman and Manuel. Probably one that the Rams need, John Camosa.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just a chance to talk it over with your guys. Go out there and execute it how you did right out of the gate. You know, took that early lead and get back in your comfort zone. But Central still feeding off that bench energy and still looking good so far.
They certainly are. And we take this timeout, our mask timeout, taken by Willie Coleman, but it brings us to our mask timeout to remind you about our good friends at Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UfteringNissan.net today and buy Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. Visit UfteringWeston.com today. And last but not least, by Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. JaguarLandRoverPeoria.com. Thanks for joining us for a Clutch Sports Media triple header and Big 12 boys basketball tournament action. You see PND, the top-seeded Irish, were upset by Champaign Centennial in our first game. This is our middle game, Manual and Champaign Central. It'll be followed up by Normal Community and Urbana. Joey Wright and John Camosa will have the call for that one. Urbana coming off an upset win over Danville last night near the border of Illinois and Indiana. Justin Page slithers through traffic, gets the shot off a little too strong there. That would have been something.
Tough shot there from Page. Doesn't take a whole lot of those ill-advised shots. A little off balance, but
three from Sanchez is down. He's got 5.
Central really hitting a groove here, shooting it behind the arc. Hemmelberg and Sanchez, and they'll definitely want to keep this up in order to take down Manuel.
And that's one thing that Manuel hasn't been able to do, settle into a rhythm beyond the arc.
Yeah, they certainly haven't, and that's credit to the Central defense. Playing an effective zone right now.
Page is going to try one. It's short. Rebound Allen. Butler works around Causey. Inside, nearly loses his dribble. Another 3. That one too strong. Board by Bird. Now the Rams slow it down. And John, I'm really surprised at the lack of transition offense from the Rams.
Yeah, Central's getting back and getting set and really kind of throwing Manuel out of their rhythm. like I said, they can play the half-court offense, but they're more used to that up-tempo style, and they haven't got an opportunity to do that.
Cameron Causey rattles in and out. Here's Butler. Almost draws the foul. Nate Allen on the dribble.
One thing with Central, too, working the ball around really well. Playing for good shots.
There's a good shot. Hammelberg drains it. Another timeout by Willie Coleman. This one's going to be a full timeout as the lead is burgeoned to 11 for the Maroons.
How about Central raining them from deep? I think this is the effort Jeff Fakey wanted out of his team early on, and Manuel's got to adjust something out of this timeout.
Yeah, they certainly do. John, that brings me to my question. What's the message in the Rams huddle?
You got to defend better. I mean, the last couple threes that they've had in the corners, they've been open. And I think Central's going to pull the trigger quick. You got to know that, and you got to collapse out and help defense if your guys, if you can't get there. But it's almost like a three-point shooting contest right now for Central.
Oh, it really is, and that's one thing that Coach Coleman mentioned to us pre-game. He said that last game these two teams played, the Rams were hurt by their shooters, and now it looks like the Maroons have found their stroke and they're starting to hurt the Rams again. And like you said, they just need to close out a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. And if Central's going to limit some of those takes inside for Manuel can shoot the three ball, and they can be, they can be lethal from beyond the arc. But if it's a shootout, I think Central could have the upper hand tonight. That's something they really pride themselves on.
Manuel's defense is pretty good. We'll see if it turns up a notch out of the timeout. First, they get a possession. The drive by Causey. He lost the dribble, and it's going the other way. He's not happy. He thought that was off a Maroon hand, but it was not. Subs for the Rams, Marion Bird. Causey checks out, and Devontae Burse also checks in. Burse, one of the smaller players on the floor at 5'9", but really an energizer bunny. Brings a lot to the floor.
Certainly does, and speaking of energizer bunny, a lot of energy out here tonight for Central. Attacking the basket. Manuel's going to want to turn, like you said, turn that up a notch, too, to get back in this game.
And there's a steal by Butler. And Manuel's looking for the tip call. John, I thought that was tipped.
I did, too.
I thought that was pretty clear, but I suppose not. The ball goes the other way with the Maroons. So they call the backcourt violation. And Tashawn Butler is with it. Another corner three for Hammelberg. That one comes up short. Couldn't make it three in a row. Bird jets ahead. The shake and bake. Count the bucket. Maybe.
You called the block?
Yes, sir. Count the bucket and the foul.
He had to wait for the suspense.
The suspense kept building and building, and it results in a good result for the Rams. They haven't had one in a few minutes.
And out of that break, we talked about what do they got to adjust, getting back in transition, and right there you saw it. Marion Bird, nice take.
Can't get the shooter's touch on the free throw, though. Rams still down 9. They certainly needed that, and they pick up a steal. Justin Page runs the break, bounces off the contact, and lays it in.
How about that take from Page? Give him a little push off, and
oh yeah,
finishes with his right.
Maroons break the press. Sanchez back and forth with Butler. Now Wagner will reset. 70 seconds to play now in the second quarter. Big 12 boys basketball quarterfinal matchup. It's the 5 and the 4 seed. Wagner, the dribble drive, the fake inside to Hammelberg. And he's fouled. Could have been a jump ball, could have been a foul, could have gone either way. And that foul is going to be called on Burse, his second. Just 14 fouls on Manuel, though, so they won't be, barring one more foul, they won't be in any sort of trouble. Hamelberg from the corner again, almost goes down, and the tip is good.
Good effort there from Central, and if you're Manuel, you want to get something and close out the quarter strong. Right now, Central's got that momentum, Larry.
They certainly do. Manuel started the game with a 5-0 run, but since the Maroons have come back, tied the game, and pretty much held the lead for the entire first half. Wagner thought about pulling up, and now it looks like Central's going to slow it down.
Definitely going to play for the last shot would be the smart move.
With the opportunity to go back up by double digits. Bird thought he poked it loose. He almost did.
Going to have a set play out of this inbounds.
Allen to trigger it in. What a find and what a finish by Hamelberg. Rams have 3 seconds. They need to do something. Page at the horn had the distance, but not the line, and the Maroons go to the halftime locker room up 28-17 on the Manual Rams.
Could you have drew up that play any better? I mean, great cut to the basket, left wide open, and Champaign Central is going into the halftime locker room with a nice boost, 28-17 lead. And if you're Manual, you got to fix something.
They certainly do, and John, I think that starts with perimeter defense.
Yeah, it does, and they've given Central too many looks from beyond the arc, and I think Central was getting out rebounded early, and now they're starting to pull their own weight on the rebounding battle. The game's kind of shifted in their favor, but it's always usually a game of 2 halves, so we'll see how Manual adjusts and see if Central can keep up this pace.
We will take a short break here in a moment, but first we want to remind you that tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but later this evening, we've got another game to close out a triple header on ClutchSportsIL.com. It's going to be Urbana taking on, I want to say, the 3-seed Normal Community. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hard to keep track of all these seeds. Urbana coming off an upset victory over Danville yesterday. Quite the game, a 1-point win for the Tigers, marking their first win of the season. Quite the time. You never know what can happen in March. And, of course, if you joined us for our first game, you saw top-seeded PND fall to Champaign Centennial. For now, we will step aside. We'll come back with some halftime stats and get you set for the third quarter on ClutchSportsIL.com. Welcome back inside Normal Community High School at Champaign Central 28, Peoria Manual 17. Larry Larson alongside John Camosa bringing you this second game of a Big 12 boys basketball tournament triple header on ClutchSportsIL.com. And John, in the first half we saw quite the shooting display from the Central Maroons, led by 8 points from Henry Hammelberg.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but 5 seniors in that starting lineup. Expect a lot of veteran talent there, and certainly showed that early on to close out this first half. And Henry Hammelberg, Jeff Finke said he's a player to watch, and he certainly showed that, knocking down those threes. Really good ball movement from Central, and kind of took Manual out of their groove. We'll see if Manual can adjust, and we'll see if Central can keep up this pace.
As for the Rams, they're led by 8 points from Tristan White. But, John, who are you looking to for the Rams to get going in this second half to maybe come back and win?
Your senior star, Marion Bird. I think he's kind of due for a big breakout game, and obviously a game that you'd hope he'd keep his team season alive, you know, being in a hole right now. And also look for Justin Page. And Cameron Causey hasn't had a whole lot going, so maybe he'll step up on the offensive end for the Rams.
One thing to watch will be perimeter defense for the Rams as the line drive 3 doesn't fall for Sanchez. The Rams struggled to close out, and they allowed a number of threes in the first half. We'll see if that changes. Frame, Hammelberg trying to pick up where he left off and cannot. Now Bird will try to run it in transition. He's going to attack, but he's stripped. Judd Wagner out in front. He has it poked away, but he gets it back. Finds the open man. Roosevelt, he's pickpocketed. Here comes Causey, the Euro step, the skip through the lane, and he's called for the charge. Wow, what a sequence.
Yeah, and right there early on you could see Manual's starting to play their tempo a little bit, but a little out of control. Central still getting hands on balls there, and like you said, what a sequence. A lot of sloppy play right there out of the gate.
That's Causey's first foul, as Sanchez is with it. Now to Roosevelt. And Allen is fouled on the layup attempt. Nate Allen, the senior, one of 5 senior starters for Jeff Finke. Maroons finished the regular season 6-4 in the Big 12. Good enough to earn them the number 4 seed, and of course the head-to-head tiebreaker with the Rams, who are also 6-4. Came via the head-to-head victory.
This is the 4-5 seed matchup you'd expect. Like you said, it could be close, but it could be one team takes the upper hand here and kind of pulls away, and Central's wanting to hold on to this lead they got, and the Rams are thinking otherwise, see if they could get into this game.
Traps can't knock it down. Now it's Justin Page trying to find a way. Now Idias Robertson, the big man, can stroke it. Can't quite get it to go there. What an effort by Causey to haul it in, but he couldn't finish.
They're letting them play. A lot of physicality down there, not a lot of whistles being blown.
Allen out in front. What a dish! And Hammelberg finishes. Wow.
Great sequence right there for Central. That's the bucket they needed. Extend that lead even more.
Now Causey gets the block charge, or excuse me, block call rather than the charge. So he will go to the free throw line. Causey's still not on the scoreboard, as we've discussed today. 6'5" junior. Comes up short, as you can hear a pin drop in the West Gym. John, imagine if we were in the big gym here at Normal Community.
Yeah.
How quiet it would be in that
man.
cavernous space.
Yeah, we'd probably be up in the rafters, so they wouldn't hear us as much as courtside. I feel like anytime we talk during a free throw, we're the only ones they can hear.
Causey goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. And the Rams deploy the full court press. Sanchez the lob pass to Wagner. Looking for a man, and he has one in Roosevelt. Allen looked for Hammelberg. Sanchez into the paint. The fadeaway is pure.
Tough bucket there for Sanchez. Gets it to Paul, and Larry, Central looking good to start this second half as well.
Justin Page thought about the long three, and now the three is off. Too strong from Traps, bounces over the backboard, and John, really nothing is going Manual's way right now.
No, it's not. And Central wants to try to run that score up and play that to their advantage. But Manual, we're so used to seeing them knock down those shots, and just like you said, can't get anything going right now. And got to see what they can fix, and hopefully the scoring starts picking up for them.
I think a lot of it has to do with rhythm, too. You see the Maroons, they've settled into the offensive rhythm. Great ball movement. There it got a little awkward as Hammelberg was called for the travel, and that will take us to our third quarter masked timeout. And we want to take this break to remind you about our good friends at Uftring Nissan in Peoria. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UfteringNissan.net today. And by Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. Visit UfteringWeston.com today. And by Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. Jaguar Land Rover Peoria.com. Larry Larson, John Camosa, Francisco Alonso at the controls on ClushSportsIL.com. It's been all Maroons after the first few minutes of action, John, and really it has to do with them settling into the offensive rhythm. Like we said before the mass timeout, the passing has been crisp, whether they're running in transition or in the half-court set. Most of it is just falling.
And you can see the confidence right now. They like where they're at in this game. They really settled into their flow, and that was the bucket that Manual needed just now.
Cameron Causey drops in his first field goal. You want to talk about rhythm. That took a little rhythm, the shot, the 2 steps through the lane. Judd Wagner with it now. Sanchez picked up by Causey. Now back to Wagner, the drive, the kick, the open man, Roosevelt. Rebound goes to Bird. Causey's going to try to take over. The kick to the corner, Traps for Trey. Airballed, but it might as well have been a pass. Bird with the finish.
I said, what did Manual need to do to get, change something? And they're converting now. They're getting those inside looks that they were needing, and see how Central can kind of combat that on their end.
Judd Wagner tries to drive. Rams needed a defensive stop, and they didn't get it. Hammelberg into double figures, and a 30-second timeout is taken by Champaign Central and Jeff Finke. So, John, you talk about offensive rhythm. Manual starting to settle in thanks to Marion Bird and Cameron Causey, but what do you think the message is for the Maroons?
Yeah, after that bucket just now from Hammelberg, that bodes well to try to cancel out those last 2 shots for Manual. And right here, I think you want to kind of keep them at a good. You don't want Manual to get too close in this game. You want to keep it at a good distance here if you're Central, because you never know what this Ram squad. They can come right back in games, and we'll see how both teams kind of come out of this timeout.
One thing's for sure, John. You want to start to shift that momentum when you're down by double figures going into the fourth quarter, because obviously things can turn on a dime. It's March, but you still want to swing that pendulum back in your direction before that scoreboard says 4.
Yeah, you certainly do.
Justin Page working around a screen. Tristan White. Burst dances on the dribble, back to White now. Hear the noise for the Central bench. Awkward pass, finds the hands of White. Look at this ball movement for Manual. A patient possession. You want to end it with a shot, but they don't. Butler comes out with it. Wagner was wide open, but probably a heads-up foul there by Manual.
Yeah, had they not fouled, he almost got that pass off, which would have turned into an open layup. Nice job by Manual there to prevent that. Central still the chance to convert here on their end.
That's the third foul on Burse. Third on Manual in the half. To Sean Butler. Nice find down low. Too strong by Allen. And the rebound goes to the Rams. Page, the hesitation move, swims through the D. Finds the open Burse. Bird couldn't finish that time. Causey tries, he can't either. Another try, and that one falls.
Almost playing volleyball down there. A lot of bouncing around, having trouble getting that ball going. It goes on the third or fourth effort.
Looks the same in the scorebook.
Yep.
To Sean Butler, Hamelberg, and now Sanchez. It's like clockwork, John. The Maroons come down. One player drives, kicks, it's cycled around, and an open look is found somewhere. Allen walked. So now the door remains open for the Rams. Deficit standing at 10, as it has for the last few minutes of gameplay in this third quarter. The lead is right there for the taking. Obviously, you need some sort of run, but the Rams haven't scored a lot of timely buckets tonight.
No, they haven't. I'm sure they'd love to put one in the basket here and cut this game to 8.
Tristan White back out. There's the look for Burse, and he got that one.
Devontae Burse early in the season, who had that game-winning shot against Normal Community, who we'll see here play later tonight. Manual's had their fair share of some buzzer beaters.
They've had ice in their veins, as if you joined us, I want to say last week, maybe 2 weeks ago now. They all blend together. Jaron Traps hit the game winner at Peoria High School. That one was a thriller. And now the Rams force a turnover. So now maybe the tide is starting to turn. That deficit standing at 8 now.
Manual's kind of got them right where they want them. If they can score again here, Larry, really like the position they'd be in.
Deficit at 7, excuse me. Another 3. That one's too strong. Sanchez with the good board, and now a foul. John, as you saw that 3 go up in the air, you could feel if that fell, you knew the momentum was going to be in the hands of the Rams and the bench was going to explode, but now the momentum swings back the other way.
Certainly does. I'm sure Central will want to try to keep pushing that lead up a little bit, see if they could get something to fall.
Hamelberg rattles it in. Another 3 for the senior.
He's been really efficient tonight shooting the 3 ball.
He's got 4 of them, excuse me, 3 of them. Unofficial tally over here at the broadcast booth. And the Maroons force a turnover. So just when you think the momentum shifts back to Manual, it swings back the other way to the Maroons. And now they've got a chance to go up by at least 12 heading into the 4th. Roosevelt in no rush here. Showing off some nice crossover moves on Traps. Gets a screen from Hamelberg. The pick and pop. Too strong. Rebound Bird. He's got to hurry. Ahead. Traps will pull up. And it's off the heel. And that's how the third quarter ends, with Manual down by 10. Before we break down that quarter for you, we take this moment to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UfteringNissan.net today. And by Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From iconic from the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. Visit UfteringWeston.com today. And last but not least, Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. Jaguar Land Rover Peoria.com. We thank our friends at Uftring for their support of Clutch Sports Media all season long. It's really been fun to have them on as you see our full schedule of tonight's triple header. After this one wraps up, you can watch Urbana take on Normal Community right here on ClutchSportsIL.com. Thanks for joining us. Larry Larson and with John Camosa here in the booth. Entire Clutch Sports Media team. Francisco Alonso at the controls, Jonathan Michael on the tripod, Matt Harrington snapping some pictures, and Joey Wright along for the ride as well. He's going to call the next game with you, John.
Yep.
Should be an interesting one.
Hoping for another good one. These Champaign schools look good, though, in these first two.
Mid-range jumper well off, and one for Tristan White.
It's definitely how you want it to open up the fourth quarter. Emmanuel's going to need that push. Cut into this lead, and I'm sure they're hoping to take the lead here.
Fouls on Wagner, his second. But one thing the Maroons have not done today is foul. And White converts on the three-point play.
Expect Manuel to turn up that defensive pressure. They usually do that when they're down in the fourth. See how Central can go after that.
Roosevelt, the strong drive, tries to get through, and a timeout's taken by Jeff Finke. And John, you're right. That's something that we've seen in our games where we've broadcasted Manual this year, especially in that Peoria High game, and it worked out. They turned up the defensive pressure in the fourth quarter. They forced the Lions to make some mistakes, and lo and behold, they hit the buzzer beater to win it.
Yeah, and we've seen Manual teams through the years do that, and you're seeing a little bit of that right now in this fourth quarter of turning up that defensive pressure. I think that's why Jeff Finke elected to call that timeout. Wants his team to get back in that rhythm, not kind of steer away from what they're doing. And then, here on the other end, Tristan White, I'm sure Manual would love to get him going again like they did in the first quarter.
They need somebody to step up. White is in double figures with 11 now. Bounce pass looking inside for Sanchez. It's off a Ram hand, so the Maroons will try it again. Roosevelt scans the floor, looking for an option, has one in Wagner.
Guarding that perimeter tight.
And the Rams nearly force a turnover. Here's the open man, Hubbard. Can't get the roll. Rebound to the Rams, almost a turnover. But now they'll get a possession. Justin Page. Traps slows it down.
2 would be big here, but a 3 would really get that bench fired up.
Rams down by 7. White tried to go to work, and the Rams will get it back. Nate Allen comes back into the game, and Hamelberg goes to the bench. The sharpshooter has 13. Justin Page needs to find an option fast, and he does with Causey. White from downtown. Page back to White, and the spin doesn't go.
Good pass there, though, from Page.
Causey right there for the interception and score.
We talked about that first game when these two teams met, 57-55 Central, and it's got to feel like it could go down to the wire again in this one.
Rams starting to put on the comeback, down by just 2 possessions. Sanchez tries to change that but can't. Rams with another chance to extend the run. Causey, the jump pass, and a foul is called. It's going to be a charge.
Yep. Good defense there by Central.
And a heads-up play because nothing swings the momentum like a charge. Gets the bench
doesn't.
fired up, gets the coach fired up. Everybody's happy.
And Larry, on that point, if nothing swings momentum like a charge, that charge taken by Amarion Parker in the Centennial game, which would have cut the lead to 1 for Notre Dame. Ultimately, Centennial came back down and got a basket.
Wagner can't connect on a basket there. No harm, no foul for the Rams. 3 from number 3. Traps can't connect. We're going to get a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Maroons.
See a lot of fight in these Rams on the defensive end, making it tough on Central, but I'm sure Central kind of feels, oh, we don't want to be in this spot right now with Manuel, not with 5 minutes left.
Spot in the semifinals is on the line. The winner of this game will play the winner of Peoria versus Richwoods, which is underway right now at Richwoods. Hammelberg in trouble. Deep 3 from Hubbard. He got it and holds the finish.
Got to close out. You can see Willie Coleman not happy with that. Got to defend that perimeter a little, or I should say behind the arc a little better, because he knocked that down wide open, Larry.
Page wanted the response, but it doesn't go down. Big defensive possession for the Rams. Page thought it was out off of the Maroons, but it wasn't. And that brings us to our 4th quarter mask break. We want to remind you that tonight's presentations, all 3 of them, are brought to you by our friends at Uftring Nissan on Allen Road in Peoria. Test drive the latest exciting Nissan products, including the all-new 2021 Rogue and Sentra. Plus, save time and buy your car 100% online. Visit UfteringNissan.net today. And buy Uftring Weston Chevy Cadillac in Peoria. From the iconic Silverado and Blazer to the luxurious Cadillac XT4 and Escalade, Uftring Weston offers world-class sales and service right here in Peoria. Visit UfteringWeston.com today. And buy Jaguar Land Rover Peoria on Allen Road. Take advantage of courtesy car specials and drive home a Jaguar or Land Rover for less than you might think. Jaguar Land Rover Peoria.com. Big shout out to our friends at Uftring. And shout out to Champaign Centennial. Why not? One more time. We've talked about that game just because it was so impressive. And the Chargers charge on to the Big 12 Conference semifinals tomorrow, where they await, I'm trying to think of the bracket in my head. They await the, we'll have to look that up.
I was going to say, going into this tournament, you'd see Notre Dame stick around maybe to the weekend, but Centennial had other plans. Biggest upset of the tournament so far.
So Centennial will play the winner of this game. Excuse me, we accidentally stated erroneously that the winner of Peoria Richwoods would play the winner of this game. That is not the case. The winner of Peoria Richwoods will play the winner of Normal Community and Urbana, which is coming up next on ClutchSportsIL.com. And travel is called on Bird. That's another big turnover, and with every single one of those, John, you feel the energy keep growing for Central.
Yeah, and you can see Willie Coleman there over on the bench signaling to Bird, shoot it. He said, shoot it. And Bird had that look. He a little timid there, didn't shoot it, which we've usually seen him pull the trigger. And I think he's wanting to see his senior really step up here.
Judd Wagner, the senior for the other side, finds the classmate Hammelberg, gets it back. Can't knock down the mid-range. Causey, the lob ahead to Bird. In trouble. Causey wanted the deep 3. Now it's Robertson spinning through traffic, and he's fouled on the shot. So the big man will head to the stripe. And John, this is where free throws are really crucial.
Yep, certainly are, and you're going to want to make sure you knock every one of them down late in the game.
He doesn't knock down the first. Robertson went 1 for 2 in a trip to the stripe earlier. At least needs this second one. Rams down 8. They've been down the entire second half. Down 28-17 at the half, and Robertson knocks in the second. Ideas Robertson has 2, and the Rams force a turnover. Causey the finish.
Really nice take there from Causey. We've seen a couple of those tonight in transition, just kind of threading the needle there and taking them through the defenders. And
now a block's going to be called as Causey's grabbing his ankle. He's all right, though. He's able to get up and try to walk it off a little bit. Looks like he's going to tie his shoe, but heads up thinking by Causey, trying to draw the charge. He almost did. But that foul.
Manuel almost forces the turnover there.
Sorry to cut you off, John. I was a little confused looking at the scoreboard. Looks like Manuel's now in the bonus. I don't know if they gave the foul to the wrong side, but the foul was on Manuel, and they just picked up another one. So the Maroons are in the bonus, up by 5, so that'll help their cause. Wagner's first free throw short. Senior has 4 points to our tally. Senior-laden roster for Jeff Finke. Second one gets the members' bounce. Rams down by 2 possessions. They've been chasing the entire second half. So much noise from the Maroons side.
Lots of noise.
Robertson gets to the rack for 2.
Big bucket there from Manuel, looking inside to Robertson. Almost gets another turnover.
And they do get it. Here's Bird jetting ahead to the baseline, and a push is called. Rams making things happen, under 3 minutes to go.
Things are really getting interesting here, Larry.
Buckle up, folks. Exciting finish on tap. Big 12 Boys Conference Tournament. Trip to the semifinals on the line. 4 versus 5 seed. Page, the lob is tipped away. Allen on the other end, blocked by Bird. That's a big block, but the Maroons get another shot. 2.5 to play. Just about. Bounce pass inside. Hammelberg is blocked by the backboard. And there's Page in transition. Easy 2.
Manuel's got him right where they want him now. 2-point game.
Lots of ball game left. Roosevelt across the timeline.
If you're Jeff Finke, what do you call a timeout, Larry, unless they can get a bucket here because they've let Manuel.
Desperation shot by Sanchez, put back no. Rebound to the Rams, big possession. With a 3, Manuel could take its first lead of the second half. First lead since the first quarter. The feed inside to Bird, through contact, no. Robertson, the putback, too strong. Once more, no.
How about Robertson?
Wow.
What a fight
and
down
a
low.
Foul called on the floor. My goodness, he would not stop battling for the board. And now he gets a trip to the stripe as the Rams are in the bonus.
I don't think I've seen a better defensive, I should say a defensive rebound battle or offensive rebound battle all season. He was not giving up on that play, and how about that will to win? You know, he doesn't want his season to end. You could see that right there.
He has been fighting all night, has fought all season. He's one of the strongest post players that we've seen all year. Full timeout taken by Manuel. So a quick game reset for you after 1 quarter. Champaign Central, after going down 5-0 to start the game, came back, led 13-9 at the end of 1 and 28-17 at the end of 2. They've held largely at least a 6 to 8 point lead for most of the second half until these last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, when the Rams have been rattling off quite the run. And John, it starts with defense.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I think we're going to see a lot of defense here in the closing moments of this game. And Larry, if they can knock down these free throws just now and we get a tie game with 1:38, there's no saying it could go either way.
The winner of this game will meet Champaign Centennial tomorrow. So Central will have a chance, if they hang on, to play a city rival. Ball goes to Robertson. Why not? And one! He'll have the chance to give the Rams the lead.
Incredible, and that's the energy you need. Robertson's fired up, so are the Rams.
Feed the hot hand. Have a night, big fella.
And if you're Central, you got to adjust. You haven't been in this position now.
Rams by one.
I was going to say, now you're down. You're waiting for it to see if it could fall, and Central might be, that might have took them out of their rhythm.
Ideas Robertson with 7 points, 6 of which in this fourth quarter. Judd Wagner. Allen. Now Hamelberg. He's hit some big shots tonight. Picked up by Robertson. Look at the defensive effort. Roosevelt.
Robertson do it all player right now.
Even guarding on the perimeter. Why not? Roosevelt, the drive down low. Hamelberg denied by Robinson.
Huge.
Robertson, oh man.
Absolutely huge for the Rams. Rebounds, blocks, points and free throws.
There's traps, down low, Robertson blocked, but a foul called. The Rams keep feeding the hot hand. It's almost as if they always know where he is on the floor at all times. What you gotta do, riding down the stretch. Robertson taking over this game.
Certainly has, and what a turn of events. Looked like he was in favor of Central, but Manuel storms right back, which they're so good at doing, and Robertson, look at the drive in there. You can really see he wants to help his team win this game, and he's done it all right now.
That's Judd Wagner's 5th foul. So he has to check out of the game. And that's a big loss. Wagner, a senior starter. Robertson. Too strong as you hear the noise from the Maroons bench. No fans in here. So somebody's got to make some noise. Takes a little pressure off us. Under a minute to play. Robertson makes it a 2-point game. He's got 8.
Feels a little bit better with that free throw falling, knowing if they get a bucket, they'll only have a tie, not the lead, depending on if it's a 3.
Sean Butler inside the arc, tries the shake and bake, and he's blocked inside. Rams up by 2. Now is it a foul game? Risky pass hauled in by Bird. No foul yet. Page with it. Now to Robertson, and he's called for the charge. That's big.
Wow.
That is big. Maroons get it back with under 30 to go.
It's a big turn there. Manuel could have dribbled it out, even got fouled for free throw, but right back in Central's hands. And after this timeout, Larry, I mean, you're ultimately going to play for the last shot if you can contain the ball in your hands without turning it over, and chance to tie or win, but wow.
The first game between these two teams this season came down to the final shot, and Champaign Central hung on. Manuel couldn't hit the last-second shot, as they have in 2 other games this season. We'll see if the tables turn and if Central can hit a final shot to tie it, to send it to overtime, or perhaps to win it and move on to the Big 12 semifinals tomorrow.
And you and I talked with Coach Willie Coleman and said, you know, after that 57-55 loss, maybe expect to see the same tonight. He goes, I certainly hope not that close. And, well, we're right here. Setting up for another really good finish between 2 really good teams.
Maroons are a great shooting team. We'll see who they go to. It's Roosevelt. Takes it up the floor, guarded by Traps. Now it's Sanchez. Picked up by Page. Hamelberg in the corner. We've seen him hit some threes. Now it's Sanchez. He got it.
Wow.
Rams need to go. We've seen this before. Here's Causey inside the arc, called for the charge.
Oh, man.
He collapses on the ground in frustration. Maroons lead by 1.
And Larry, we just saw that on the play before, or I should say 2 plays before that. The same type of spin move and a charge, and it paid off both times for Central. But this is ultimately the biggest time right here. Wow.
My, oh my. Well, Manual's fourth quarter effort falls short. They're going to need some sort of miracle. Manual takes a full timeout, down by 1, just 2 seconds remaining. John, how do you handle a situation like this?
Well, here's the thing. You got to foul right out of the gate. I mean, 2 seconds ultimately. You're trying to force a turnover, a steal on the inbounds, but you got to foul. And then if you're Central, you get to that free throw line. You could make that first free throw, but just miss that second one intentionally, and you leave the Rams ultimately no time to do anything with that. 2 seconds is a near 3/4 court heave. I mean, the inbound steal would be your best option, which is hard to do.
And then you need some sort of tip.
Yeah.
You need to be close to the bucket. So it'll be Allen to inbound. Rams need to foul or steal. Down by 1. Here we go. Allen scans the floor, gets it in, and a foul immediately. Butler will go to the free throw line with 1 4/10 remaining.
That drains it down even more, and it's going to be tough. But let's go back to that 3 from Sanchez. We knew he was productive all game, but ultimately the biggest one just now. And him and Hamelberg really carried the team on the threes, and see if that can pay off for him in the end.
A brief delay in play. Rams have 4 rebounders. Butler's first free throw is off. Maroons still hold the 1-point lead, and now a timeout is taken by Jeff Finke and the Maroons.
Now do they have a timeout to use? Because they don't have it up on the board. But I was going to say, if he missed and they get a rebound, call the timeout.
Manual has 1 timeout remaining.
1 timeout.
The official just signaled.
Okay.
That's big. So if Manual grabs this rebound, they can call a quick timeout, but not a lot of time, obviously. And so here's a big question, John. If you're Butler, do you intentionally miss this free throw?
I mean, and now after that first miss, now you're kind of, you're thinking you wanted to get that first one down just to have that 2-point lead. But, I mean, Manual still has that timeout, like you said. We'll see what Jeff Finke does here. I mean, he's the coach. I'm just the broadcaster.
We've seen a fair amount of crazy finishes with these Rams this year. First game between these two squads came down to the final shot. And a similar ending is in store today. In case you just missed it, Diego Sanchez hits the go-ahead 3. And Cameron Causey called for the charge on the other end. So the Rams were forced to foul, and it sends Butler to the line. He missed the first. Here's the second, and he got it.
So there's that timeout they're going to use.
Yes, indeed. So no intentional miss by Butler. Maroons by 2. And in the big picture, John, that doesn't matter all that much. I don't think the Rams are going to have much time to get inside the arc, so it's going to have to be some sort of prayer.
Yeah, and you don't want to count Manual out because we've seen some crazy buzzer beaters from them this season, and it is March. But yeah, you got to run the base. I mean, you got to run something on a weave, hopefully set a screen, and then just let something fly. You don't really have time for a set 3 or any type of play down low. So, Larry, we're going to see, if they can get the ball in cleanly, just a catch and a shoot, maybe a dribble.
Willie Coleman breaks out the huddle. You see the Rams are going to run with Ideas Robertson, Marion Bird, Jaron Traps, Tristan White, and Justin Page will inbound.
Now, your other thing is they can run that baseline, correct?
Yes.
He could run that and throw some type of prayer that you could get it here and turn around and shoot, but see?
Page the baseball pass, but we're going to run it again because the buzzer sounded to signal the end of the timeout. So now the Rams will get another shot.
Say, man,
and they're lucky
break there, yeah,
because that pass was picked off if Page was a quarterback. And now Page has to retreat.
But that gives you a feel for, okay, that just happened. You might want to do something a little different, you know, run it, maybe throw something here on the perimeter.
We shall see. Page sends it into motion. The chuck, it's picked off, and the Maroons are moving on.
Wow.
It's the game-winning shot by Diego Sanchez that sends Champaign Central into the next round, where they will meet crosstown rival Champaign Centennial. What a night in Champaign-Urbana.
Huge three from Diego Sanchez, and that should be a great game tomorrow between Centennial and Central.
So, John, we talked in the open about the first matchup between these two teams, how it came down to the final shot. What do you know? Same result today as the Maroons run out of the locker room happy. They'll play close to home tomorrow.
Yeah, and not a lot you could do there on that inbounds. First time Page threw it in before the buzzer sounded. A little long. This last one a little short. Central was right there to pick it off, but hard-fought game by both teams, and man, when these two teams meet, it's always going to be an exciting one.
Oh, man, whenever you get any sort of Big 12 tournament game, you always get an exciting one, as we have seen in two games tonight. First one, an upset. Champaign Centennial upsets top-seeded Peoria Notre Dame. And in our second game, you just saw the Maroons clutch up in the fourth quarter, survive a manual run, and move on by a final of 45-43. John, I feel like this may be a superfluous question, but who's your clutch-up player of the game?
I would say between Henry Hamelberg, but I'm going to give it to Diego Sanchez. I mean, just hitting that three, it's almost kind of hard to not give it to him.
Yes.
I mean, ultimately paid off as the biggest shot and the game winner. But I think Diego Sanchez earns this one. And outside of just that game winner, he did a lot for him during the game.
He certainly did. The senior hits the game winner in his final season. And those are the shots you dream about playing basketball in your driveway as a kid. And we want to remind you that we've got one more game coming up. Next on Clutch Sports IL at about 8 o'clock. It'll be Urbana taking on the host, Normal Community Ironmen. Should be a good one. Joey Wright and John Camosa will have the call for you on that one. But for now, this wraps up our presentation of Champaign Central and Peoria Manual. It's the Maroons surviving the fourth quarter and moving on by a final of 45-43. For our entire Clutch Sports Media crew, Francisco Alonso at the controls, John Michael on the camera, Matt Harrington on social media, Josh Schwam back in the Peoria studios, and Joey Wright along for the ride. I'm Larry Larson alongside my partner John Camosa, and we'll catch you in about 40 minutes.